Namaste everyone. This is our collaborative presentation on reflective practice. Our collaborative group is Ishwar Kumar Ghimire, Balkrishna Sapkota, Meera Gurung, Sarita Yadav, and Suraj Acharya. We are MPhil Scholar, Semester 2, STEAM Education, Kathmandu University School of Education, 2022 batch. What is reflective practice and what is reflective teacher? Who is reflective teacher? Here is one metaphorical representation. This figure represents that teacher enlightens other. Teacher enlightens other, teacher transfer knowledge, teacher collaborates, teacher empowers, and teacher self-motivated personality. So, what a good reflective teacher should be? Let's think. A good reflective teacher leads to process of teaching, rather simple evaluation. A good reflective teacher should be self-critical. That means he or she should be critical thinker. What is good? What is bad? What did I in past and what is in present situation? What should I improve in my strategy? It should be self-aware. That means good reflective teacher should be self-critical, should be self-aware, intuitive, and imaginative. That means he should be laborious, he should be hardworking and imaginative. Similarly, opener to new idea. He should have a vision. He should have new idea. Risk taker. A good reflective teacher don't afraid of any situation. He accepts the risks. He should be student friendly. That means students' motivation and transformation of knowledge is the main vision, main objective of reflective teacher. He should have the will to change. That means reflective teacher should be studious. He should have willingness to change. He should prepare, share, care, and flair. Never be discriminate. He should be prepared, always prepared. He should always study. He should share the knowledge. He should care students, and he should be flair, cooperative and affectionate. Always cooperative personality and affectionate. Reflective teacher should be reflective rather than proactive. Not only proactive in activity. He should be reflective. Positive reflection, his or her reflection should influence positively. Enthusiastic learner. Enthusiastic learner. Reflective teacher should be restless personality. He should be laborious. He should be transformative. Transformation of knowledge, as stated in the paper with Ray and Freeman 2001. Now, what are the opportunities of reflective practice? Reflective practice, it is a mental process. Mental affection. What our mental does. What do we think? That is related to reflective practice, and there are opportunities of reflective practice. Reflective practice as a tool for personality development. The main opportunity is a reflective person, reflective teacher, can develop his or her personality. Here is a mental figure. This is our mind, brain. It is a composition of numerous neurons that is related to central nervous system. What is the role of central nervous system? Central nervous system includes brain and spinal cord, which can transfer stimulation, and stimulation and reaction leads to the reflection. Let's see what, why to feel. What to feel, why to feel. This is also mental process. What to respond, how to respond. That is also mental process. Similarly, what, how to learn. Learning, reflective practice, constant to the learning. What to act, that is acting. First feeling, then response, then learn, then act. These are the coherence, sequential process. What to act, different questions, responses on why should do that, and component of the reflection. That means what was the past action and what happened in the present, what will be in the future. This is the process of reflection and how to improve. After reflection of these different questions, then we can identify the weakness, and we should imagine, we should think properly, we should have the transformation of knowledge so that we can improve our past and we can visualize our future as stated in the paper shown 2022. Now, over to you, Suraj sir.
Thank you very much, Ishwar sir, for highlighting reflective practice by giving the example of metaphorical sense. Now my turn is to explain opportunities of reflective practice, roles of reflective practice in educational field. Nevertheless, the role of reflective practice in educational field is very high. The number one is a dialectical tool for conflict transformation and peace building. Of course, reflective practice helps us for conflict management. Number next, the role of reflective practice is to explore alternative way to handle the situation. Of course, it helps us to explore various other ways which easily helps us to handle various kinds of situations arising in our life. Number next, achieve new insight from the experience. Nevertheless, reflective practice helps to achieve various kinds of new insights developed from our experiences. Now, the next number is to analyze, to explore theory or set assumptions on theoretical perspective. Of course, reflective practice helps us to analyze, to explore various principles or sets assumptions on theoretical perspective. It means it also helps us to analyze by theoretical means. Number next, act as an important tool for information data collection and analysis in educational research. Of course, reflective practice helps us for the data collection and also helps us to analyze in educational research by various other ways. Number next, It's another task. It's another important task of reflective practice is to analyze, to decide, use of approach, and apply new theory. Number next, to have strong team building and nurturing culture of reflective practice. Nevertheless, reflective practice helps us to maintain strong team building, and I don't think without team building, anything is possible. And nurturing culture of reflective practice. The last but not the least point is a meaning making process through experiences and explore new ideas through deeper understanding. Of course, reflective practice helps anybody's to
In this, thank you, Suresh sir and Isro sir. In the same way, now I'm going to talk about the opportunities of reflective practice and reflective cycle. So, there is a cycle. Cycle here means that we have a kind of concrete experience, and this concrete experience may lead to the reflective observation. We can observe the things, and we can conceptualize the abstract thing, and then we have the active experimentation on the things, and finally we have concrete experience. So this is how the reflective cycle goes on. And what are the other opportunities regarding reflective practices? That it of course creates helps to creation of new knowledge. It helps to conceptualization of the new knowledge, and it also supports us the transformation of experience. So the experiential learning is possible because of the reflective practice. And it is cyclic model of reflective practice, the Kolb's learning cycle, experiential learning method. And finally, we have a meaning is abstracted from the experiences. So that may result a theory leading to learning by individual. So we learn in group, we learn by individual, connection with the environment, connection with the experience. So meaning is a kind of getting meaning can be got from the abstract ideas. So this is how we can say the opportunity of reflective practice. Similarly, in the so sir, you can change the slide also. Next slide. Similarly, sir, change the slide, sir. So sir, change slide, please.
Yes, sir. It is
Okay.
next slide.
And similarly, now I'm going to talk about our understanding on the process of reflective practice. What are the stages of reflective practice? So the first step is that observing and describing the experience. It is what I mean to say that this step involves noting the facts of the situation or describing what happened in as much detail as possible. And the second point is that analyzing the experience. This step involves looking at the experience from different perspectives and considering the different factors that may have influenced the outcome. And the third is that evaluating the experience. Here, what I mean to say that this step involves evaluating the effectiveness of the action taken and considering what could have done differently. Here, what may be the next option? What may be the next option to settle down the case? So, and finally, the next thing is that creating a plan for future action. This step involves using the knowledge gained from the reflection to create a plan for future action to address similar situation. And finally, we have the reviewing the plan. The final step is that reviewing the plan. It means that this step involves re-evaluating the plan after a certain period of time to see if it was successful or not, if any adjustments need to be made. So there should be consideration should be made there while reviewing the plan, whether some kind of adjustment need to be done, need to be made or not. So reflective practice can be applied in a wide range of fields, including healthcare or education or business, or it can be valuable tool for personal and professional development. And over to Sarita ma'am, then you can speak please.
Thank you so much, Balkisna sir. Now I'm going to discuss challenges or barrier of reflective practice. There are some challenges. Now I'm going to discuss about time constraint. Basically, time constraint is can it could be a main reason for it could be a main reason to for unsuccessful reflective practice, because for reflective practice we need certain time, and it has certain cycles. So lack of enough time leads barrier in proper reflections. Then organizational culture, lack of reflective practitioners. Motivation means it requires self motivation, self desire to do something. So if we don't have motivation, we cannot perform well. Then self, one of the biggest barrier is self, hard to overcome. It need to try a lot not to get disheartened, build self confidence. Of course, everything starts from self. If we are not initiate by ourselves, we cannot perform anything else. Finally, reflecting by thinking alone is not enough. We must reform our own existing thought process, which is written by Ray and Freeman 2001. Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite Meera ma'am for conclusion of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarita ma'am. Uh, all my friends have already presented about the opportunities and challenges of reflective practices. And if we can work on the challenges of these reflective practices, then we can increase the horizon of the professional development of the teachers. So, with this saying, I'm going to conclude our presentation, or in another word, I'm going to present the synopsis of presentation. Here in the center, by using this diagram, here in the diagram, we can see the in center teaching and reflection in the cyclic order. This represent the reflective practice of the teacher, and by doing the reflective practice, teacher can develop the multiple perspective for a single situation. And also, and that multiple perspective encourage teacher or motivate teacher for doing the different experiments, so experimental learning, involved in the experimental learning. And this multiple perspective and experimental learning and will help teachers to go through the critical inquiry. From there, teacher will construct a knowledge, that knowledge of different kind. That then here we have included some of the knowledge. First one is the knowledge of self. While doing the reflective practices, teacher can understand about his or her own weakness and the strengths. And by working on those, teachers can develop his or her own perspective or value of self. After then, uh, during the reflective practices, teachers can have the knowledge about the students' learning nature, and students' learning pattern. Also, teacher can know. Similarly, after that, while doing the reflective practices, teacher can develop or use the different sort of student centered teaching methodology or the activities, and also can use the different assessment system, can incorporate ICT or the different teaching material in the classroom. And with that, teacher and another teacher can have a knowledge of curriculum of his or her context. In his or her context, what type of curriculum will suit? That might be multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, or the liberal education. What kind of that curriculum will be fitted? That also can be, if that type of knowledge can be generated by teacher. And another, the teacher can generate the knowledge of the school. That means what should be the nature of the school, what should be the value of the school, those things. Also, what can be the modality of the school in his or her context, that also can be developed by the teacher during these reflective practices. So going through this after going through this diagram, reflective practice, we can say reflective practices can not only be helpful for the teachers personal development, or sorry, professional development, but it also helpful for the development of the student learning, development of the school, development of the curriculum, or in a whole, we can say it's the development of the society. Because teaching is a profession which create all the profession. With this, I would like to end the this presentation, our presentation. And at last but not the least, I would like to thank our mentor and teacher, Binod sir, for providing us this wonderful opportunity. And here are the reference that we use. Thank you all. Thank you very much.